This video is brought to you by the Wonderful 101, exclusively on Wii U.
Hey guys, what's going on? Roth and Chris here to talk about Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. Who are you going to call? What is this? For those who don't know.
I mean,
who doesn't know? You're crazy.
This has been long rumored. It's the Breaking Bad spinoff show that centers around Walter White's lawyer, Saul Goodman, and he's if you haven't seen the show, well, first of all, if you haven't seen the show,
stop watching this right now. Seriously,
we're gonna talk a little bit about spoilers. So if you haven't seen the show, I'll give you a little bit of background on him, and it's just he's this lawyer, kind of a little bit sleazy, kind of a little bit like a used car salesman. He's the kind of guy that you see on all the billboards, and he's
an ambulance chaser.
Yeah, he's an ambulance chaser, but he's mixed up in all kinds of nefarious affairs.
He knows all. He knows everybody. He's the fixer man. He can fix anything.
And this thing is meant to be a prequel series, so it's not going to happen after the events of Breaking Bad, and that's significant in that Saul doesn't have to make it to the end of Breaking Bad. They're announcing this series at a point where, that whole thing is still up in the air.
Well, here's what's interesting about this, because when they were talking about this, they started talking about this, well, that we know of. They probably started talking about this a long time ago, but that we know of back in April. And so, Vince Gilligan, who's obviously the creator of Breaking Bad, he was developing this with Peter Gould, who created the character of Saul Goodman. Now, at that time, he said Saul's like a cockroach. He's going to survive everything. He's going to be around in a bad suit when we're all dead. And so it seemed like
I still believe that.
And they hadn't decided if it was going to be a prequel at that point. So it seemed like he was pretty much saying Saul's going to survive the series. Well, Now that we know it's a prequel, that's a little less clear.
Well, it certainly casts doubt in your mind. But as a prequel, it's interesting because some of the characters that, have met their end on Breaking Bad, they could potentially be involved in this series. So we're talking about Mike first and foremost. Mm-hmm. I think that's the one that, if you're going to have this series, you really want him in there. But here's a tonal question.
Yes.
What are they going to do with this? Is it going to be comedy? Is it, it's probably going to be lighter in tone, and then where does Mike fit into that?
Yeah, I mean, that is sort of the question that I think fans are having, people that are a little bit skeptical about how this is going to work, because I think fans might be looking for Breaking Bad Part 2, and that's not going to happen.
No.
Another thing that Vince Gilligan said was essentially, if you remember, Saul Goodman doesn't exist. Saul Goodman is a persona that this man that we know of as Saul Goodman made up, just the same way that Heisenberg is a made-up persona.
Right.
So could this be the story of the actual person and how he became Saul Goodman? Could it be Breaking Bad Part 2 in the sense that it is a journey of someone who maybe was once well-intentioned, becoming the dirty lawyer that we now know and love?
If it's a drama, I think we kind of need that journey. If it's not a drama, I don't want that journey at all. I just want Saul, being, in ridiculous situations, trying to iron stuff out, get himself out of trouble. If it has to have this huge dramatic arc, then we're going to need to see something like that. I kind of, as weird and as tonally sort of dissonant as it is, I kind of want it to be light and funny and just be Saul Goodman being Saul Goodman. Not like a laugh track or anything, but, those moments in Breaking Bad are what helps break the tension. He's always got the best one-liner. He's always actually kind of the voice of reason for that show. Any number of points in time, he could have he's always saying the thing that we're all thinking it'd be a whole lot easier if you just killed this guy. It'd be a whole lot easier if you just did this.
Well, he's the voice of very, very corrupted reason.
Well,
yes.
I mean, I always agree with him.
But of reason bereft of morality, sure.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean...
You use bereft in a sentence.
I use bereft in a sentence, I know. Spank me and give me a day off on Tuesday. I don't know what that is.
This video just went off the rails. But anyway, looping back.
Anyway, moving back to this, the point is this. We don't know if Vince Gilligan is going to be the showrunner on this show at all, because the deals haven't been made. Is it going to be Peter Gould who's the showrunner? If he is, he's created Saul. He writes for Saul. I mean, it could be more of a comedy. I think that'd be interesting. What I hope is that fans will go in with an open mind thinking, I'm going to watch this show. I'm not going to sit comparing the show to Breaking Bad every single moment that it's on the air.
Here's an interesting question, and we don't know the mind of Vince Gilligan or whatever, but do you think he is having this is such an amazing creation. Do you think he's having a little bit of I don't want to let this go right now. I want to continue to do this and be in this world?
I don't know. That is an interesting question because I feel like what I would prefer is that Vince Gilligan is the executive producer, that Peter Gould is the showrunner, and that he just runs with this character that he's created. And I'd love to see Vince Gilligan go create something new.
Right.
Because I just think he's so talented and magnificent. It'd be interesting to see what he did next.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, he's shown time and time again with this series that he does not take the easy way out. He doesn't do the thing that you're expecting him to do. So, it kind of could go any possible way, but I think I'm just personally excited that it's happening at all. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I got huge trepidation about this, but no, it's like, it's cool, man. I trust that guy.
And I love Bob Odenkirk.
Pardon me. He's
Bob
amazing.
Odenkirk is a man that I love, and he's amazing.
Yeah, he's
I don't know
awesome.
if you ever watched Mr. Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very talented man. Excited to see what happens with this, but we want to know what you think. So go ahead. Are you excited? Do you think it's a bad idea? Are you going to be constantly comparing it to Breaking Bad? Do you want a comedy? Do you want a drama? All of these things, leave them in your comments below.